topic of the week, the big topic we've been waiting for, Game of the Year 2019. So we're going to go through our top 10s, and we'll go, we'll start at number 10 and we'll go round in a circle. We've been laughing before we even recorded this. A lot of the boys haven't got a top 10 because
2019 was rubbish.
Because 2019 was expensive.
Very expensive.
And it's one of those things that comes up where the Switch is now 3 years old nearly, and we are looking at sales because we got too many games to play, so we're picking games up in sales, and those sales are games that have happened before 2019. So we got lots of 2018 games, but not many 2019 games. But what I do have top 10, so I'm going to start us off when I can bring my list up because I've forgotten already. Game of the Year, top 10. My number 10 was Untitled Goose Game. Enjoyed my time with it, basically. Just running around doing nasty things. Didn't overstay its welcome. Was a little short because it didn't overstay its welcome. But enjoyed my time with it.
Not bad.
Who's going to go?
I haven't picked that one up myself.
Waiting for a sale.
If I did, it would probably slip into my top 10 as well, quite easily.
Yeah,
quite easily.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, I'm surprised. When I was playing, I thought, if this was Game of the Year, while I was playing it, it was like, this would be like number 5 or something. But nope. After sorting my top 10 out, it slipped down to number 10. Anybody else have a number 10? Sam, I think you do.
Yes, I have. I've put Fire Emblem Three Houses as my number 10, but only because I haven't actually played that much of it. What I did play of it at the start, I enjoyed, and then I got to the to the monastery.
Yes.
Yeah, that's as far as I got.
That's right at the beginning.
Because I was, really anticipating the game, and this happens a lot to me with Fire Emblem games. They come out, and then there's tons of other games that come out at the same time, and I really just need to stick with one game. But I suspect that I'll enjoy it a lot more, once I really get into it. I hope so, anyway.
We'll have a gaming drought now in January, February, and you'll have plenty of time, Sam. Any top 10s from you, Nick?
Pass.
And Greg? Pass, right? Pass for top 10.
If I was including stuff like ports of like old games, like if you're talking like Resident Evil 4 and stuff, I could probably I came up with a top 10, but to me they don't really feel like they count, so I've just decided to wait. I've got 8 games here.
Okay, and I'll count you from 8.
A reluctant 8.
Okay, my number 9 is Super Mario Maker 2. I have enjoyed my time with it. I find it very difficult to find time to sit down and actually devise a new level. Maybe I'm not that creative. You've got a blank canvas, and I'm just not interested. Everything else around it felt like a chore as well, but a very well designed chore. The story mode was a bit work my way through it, but I'm not 100% enjoying this. Yes, they've added the Ninja's speedrun thing, which is quite fun, just for drop in, drop out, so I'm back on it. Maybe that'll enthuse me to make some more levels, but only number 9 for Super Mario Maker 2 for me. Sam, what about you? Number 9.
I was going to say, that's fair. You put Super Mario Maker 2 at number 9. It didn't actually make it into my top 10. Not because it's not good. It's obviously a very good game, but I need to actually get in and play some of the levels that the N-E community's devised, because there's some really good ones in there that I've seen. Just haven't had the time to get properly into it. But my number 9 is Pokemon Sword. Well, Pokemon Sword and Shield, but the Sword version. Again, I just haven't had enough time to put into the game. But what I've played of it, I have enjoyed. I'm aware of a lot of the limitations of the game, and some of the good aspects as well. But it's still Pokemon.
It plays a good Pokemon game, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your number 9. Nick, did you have a number 9?
Pass.
How far back are you going to go? Pass as well. Greg is going to pass because he's on 8. Let's go on to our number 8s. Thank you, 2019. At number 8, I've gone for a game that I played the demo and I criticised it. I don't know if you remember me criticising this game. I'll tell you what the game is now. Because of the analog triggers. I said it needs analog triggers, and I played the demo, didn't like it. It came out in a sale then, and it was dirt cheap, and I thought, right, I'm going to give it another go, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The problem with the demo was that it gave you a vehicle which was overpowered and you weren't used to it in the game. So when you start from the beginning, you kind of get used to the vehicles, and it is Trials Rising by Ubisoft. It's that 2D platforming, bike action, spinning, and I've had a hell of a lot of fun with this. Much more so than Super Mario Maker 2.
Wow.
I know. Sam, what was your number 8?
My number 8's Team Sonic Racing, which came out, I believe, at the beginning, nearest to the beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
I was actually working on a review for it, still working on a review for it, but just didn't get around to, properly formulating my thoughts on it. But very enjoyable, for what it is. Not quite as good as the previous game, perhaps. Sonic
what was that one called?
All Stars Racing.
All Stars Racing, yeah.
The one where you've got all three. Yeah, the one that took the inspiration from, is it Diddy Kong Racing, effectively?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where you've got all 3 forms of transportation, but still, it works well within the the team aspect in it. It does work, but I don't know. I think there's still hope for the series yet.
Yeah, I never really got on with the Sonic racing games, to be honest.
No?
I just never felt... I think it's because Mario Kart is so good. Everything else is... nothing else just feels quite right.
No, that's a good
Apart
point.
from maybe Diddy Kong Racing at the time.
True.
And Mickey Speedway at the time. I like
Not
that. Nick, did you have a number 8?
Pass.
Oh, still passing. But Greg does. Hey, Greg, number 8.
Mine might as well be a pass. It's just here to fill a hole. Link's Awakening at 8.
Number 8.
Pass for Link's Awakening.
I don't think it's that great, to be honest. I don't really like it.
The game itself, or the gameplay and all that, or because of the frame rate issues?
Well, the frame rate obviously doesn't help, but I mean, A Link to the Past is supposed to be amazing, and at the time I'm sure it would have been class, but I never really got on with the top-down Zeldas that much.
Yeah.
And I just don't really like it. So it feels kind of old to me, and I don't have a good time when I'm playing it. So I was basically just going through the motions at about 10 frames per second half the time.
15.
My number 7 then is one that I've been keeping up. I've only missed 2 days, and for various reasons. Every day I've got my Ring-Con out for Ring Fit Adventure. That's my number 7. I've had great fun with this. Just doing 10 minutes, 10 minutes a day, maybe 30 minutes a day, no longer than 30 minutes. But it always gets me back in every single time. It's good fun just jogging along and fighting these monsters. The RPG mechanics, as I progressed now to level 90, my XP's on level 96 now. So I don't know if there's a maximum threshold of 99 or whether I'll get past it. But as I've progressed, the RPG mechanics are satisfyingly deep as well. I've very encouraged by what they've done with this.
Cannot wait to get this one.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it looks really fun, but on the lead up to it coming out, I was getting interested in getting it, and there was a good deal on it, but the moment's kind of passed now for me, and I can't really see where it fits in with my life at the minute. So I don't know if I'll ever pick it up.
Shame. It is fun. But the problem is as well is that there's only 12 mini games. If there were a lot more mini games, you could justify it for buying it like a kind of thing to play with your sons and mess around with, But you got to see this as something you want yourself to play through that RPG game. Otherwise, don't bother.
Let's get sweating together.
Yeah.
Sweaty Rincon.
Fair play. I thought the handles would get a bit rather ganky, skanky. They're not too bad already. So how long has it been out? It's been out since October. That's 3 months of sweating, and it's still looking like new. We're on to number 7, Sam.
Oh, my number 7 is from the Sega Ages range, and it's Virtua Racing, which came out
throwback.
a little while back, but I was really looking forward to it because I'd never played the original, the arcade version, which this is surprisingly close port to.
Yeah,
I played it on
close.
the Mega Drive, but I'd say this is probably one of the best versions to be released so far, especially with all the extra features there. Wasn't it up to 8 players
Split screen.
you can have on it? Yeah.
8. Yeah, it was
Which is
weird.
pretty-
There was a
pretty
one
amazing.
space for number 9, and number 9's not allowed.
It's only 1v1 online though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not. So. I actually got this as well, but I'm not going to include indie games. Not indie games, sorry, retro games in my list.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, Virtua Racing, great. I really enjoyed it. Surprisingly deep. I never played it before outside the arcades, and I was really surprised. I spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours just trying to get a better time, and just constantly finding where I was missing time and where I was gaining time, where I could go faster. Absolutely great fun for a 16-bit game, or 30. What is it, 16 or 32?
I think it must be somewhere in between. It definitely feels like it.
It's just unbelievable how deep it is. I really enjoyed
It's
it.
amazing.
Very good game for the price it's at.
You picked this up as well, didn't you, Greg?
I did, and I didn't have it on my list, but I'm going to put it on my list.
No.
Let's bump Link's Awakening down to number 9.
We got to go back to your number 8 then.
So my number 8 is going to be what my number 7 was going to be, and again, that was a stretch. It's a game that I only really play whenever the events are happening, and that's Tetris 99.
8 is Tetris 99. Good.
Yeah,
Not number 99.
I feel obligated to play it whenever the events are on. And it's always through gritted teeth. I don't really feel like I want to play it at that time. It's like I'm being forced to play it because the event's on. But I can also see the merits of the game as well. Tetris is a classic, and this is a good version of it. So yes, it's probably worthy of being on the list.
So back to our number 7s, Nick.
Pass.
Oh, still passing. On to Greg, number 7.
Back to me. So I'm going to put Virtua Racing in at number 7 for me.
Surprise, surprise.
There obviously isn't that many courses in it or anything, but like Nick said, it's just that trying to shave seconds off your time and stuff. And I don't think I've got first in all the races yet. Maybe only 1, 2 of them. Maybe it is difficult.
That last track, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I can get near first.
Yep.
On to number 6, and my number 6, I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, Realm Royale. For the amount of family gaming time I've played with this, over 105 hours now, sure beats Fortnite as a battle royale shooter, that's for sure. The shooting mechanics feel more satisfying, even if there is a little not frame rate issues, but just like in Dauntless, when you're fighting the monsters, there's no frame rate issues to speak of, but players can warp around the screen, there's badly optimized online connections going on. Sam, what was your number 6?
In number 6, I put in Luigi's Mansion 3. That's probably because I haven't, again, put that much time into it. But I have enjoyed what I played so far, and I get the feeling that I'm going to enjoy it the more I play it when I go back to it. Because I have heard a lot of talk about when you get to the later floors, apparently it's a bit of a slog on certain floors, as in they're not maybe quite as imaginative as some of the earlier floors.
Yeah, the higher you get up, especially after about floor 11, 12, not a slog, but
Repetition.
more repetition. Yeah, repetition starts.
But style
in.
and presentation, though, I mean, I don't think you can really fault it. You know, just so much to see, and the sound design's amazing when you got it hooked up via surround sound. You can just hear all the all the little coins and everything, and says if you everything. It makes sense to what everything that's going on the screen makes sense to what for what you're hearing as well. Nothing feels out of place.
It is a beautiful, beautiful game in places. It made me smile throughout. Nick, what about? Do you have a number 6?
Pass.
Oh. Have you got a top 5?
No.
4?
Maybe.
Greg.
I almost wish I'd went the same route because I'm just forcing the same. But this is a game that I'm not even sure I can justify being on the list in some ways because it is a port of a game that came out a few years ago, New Super Mario Bros. U, which came out in January.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that actually.
Right. So yeah, it's a really good game. I beat it back on the Wii U, done everything. Yeah, it's good. So I've beat all the Mario levels again on Switch. I haven't completely finished Luigi yet, but yes, it's a good game. Although I haven't said that, playing it again, it doesn't feel quite as good as I remembered it being on the Wii U. Maybe that's just because it's not as fresh, but yeah.
Okay, we're on to our top 5s. Here we go. My number 5, and I've gone first-person shooter overload here. Overwatch. Came out in October, so we haven't had, and it was late October, we haven't had it that long, 2 months, and I've loved it. It's a absolutely solid first-person shooting experience. The online, when you find a match, it can be a little slow finding matches at particular times of the day, and that's probably because of the region I'm in as well. But when you do find a match, the variety of game modes in there as well, like payload, which is getting your 6v6 teams, getting your team to drag this cart all the way through to the end, or capture the flag scenarios. All of it is in there. I've had a hell of a lot of fun. Overwatch, number 5.
Cool.
Sam, what's your number 5?
In at number 5, got Astral Chain.
Oh.
Again, I haven't finished it, but I did put a good few hours into it at the start, and I really I like the overall feel of the of the world and the characters. There's clearly a lot of thought and effort's gone into it. The combat's interesting because I feel that there's a lot of scope there. With the combat system, that's probably perhaps the main part of it. I mean, I know there's a lot of exploration you can do, but I get the feeling that being a platinum game, there's definitely got to be some interesting battles in there, especially later on. And the fact that you got in the investigative part of it as well, where you're investigating the crime scene, that was interesting. So I know there's side quests as well you can go off and do. So it does pay to thoroughly explore the area, but I also got the impression that you were timed as well on some of them as well. Maybe not though. I don't know if I got far enough into it.
Is it just, does it feel tacked on, those investigative bits, or does it actually add to the story?
No, I think it does add to the story to a certain point. It's not something you want to do maybe for the whole of the time, but I think it breaks it up quite nicely, and you're really taking in the atmosphere as well. I mean, I know you have to keep on switching between the different. I forget what it's called, but where you turn on the vision, and it puts like a filter over the screen.
Oh, like the investigation mode, like what Batman does, yeah, detective mode.
Yeah, so you do find yourself, coming in and out of that quite a lot. But yeah, when you're actually in the heat of battle, though, it's very good, and I get the feeling the story's going to go somewhere quite interesting as well. So I'm sure I'll come back to it. It's just the constant battle for time.
Yeah, this is one for a sale for me. I would have picked it up if there wasn't so many other games out. Nick, no number 5.
Pass.
Greg, your number 5.
My number 5 is a game you have a wee bit further down your list, and that is Super Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
Obviously Mario, fantastic game. The one of the Wii U, played it quite a bit more than this one. And I think I remember we had a discussion before this one came out that we weren't that excited about it coming out. As I know I wasn't feeling that much hype for it. And the part of that was the fact that people just don't make great Mario levels generally. Like, they're not as good at making Mario levels as Nintendo. But like the creating aspect, like I loved that, especially in the first one. But in this one here, I've only made 2 levels, and like the second one I spent so much time on, and it was quite intricate. It's called the Pipes of Time. I was going back and forth between 2 different, like, it was supposed to be like 2 different time periods, but just the attention to detail to try and like keep them flipping between the 2 like styles and making sure everything was in the right place and stuff. I spent so much time, and in the end I didn't actually think the level was all that fun, and I just completely burnt myself out on it, and I haven't been back to it really.
You know, if I wanted to make another map on it, I think I'd do something very simple, you know, like Super Mario World 1-1, you know, the something easy, and just to get my feelings back to it, you know.
I have to say, some of the levels that your son made, on a technical level, like, there's a lot of things that, perhaps issues with them, but it's probably the most fun I've had with the game.
He likes to build his parkour levels and test himself as well. He's put a lot of time into it. Yeah, I've enjoyed some of his levels. To be honest, I haven't finished most of his levels, but even just watching him play them, I'm thinking, oh no, that's a good idea. But there you got you've stolen that off Greg there. Yeah, he's been fun. I've had my money's worth for Super Mario Maker 2 through my son. That's pretty cool. Number 4 is another first-person shooter. It's my last first-person shooter of the year. It's Wolfenstein Youngblood. I wasn't expecting much from this after I played Doom, the Doom 2016. You know, that came out port on the Switch. Loved it, absolutely adored it. Then played Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Didn't like it as much because it was some stealth action that didn't seem to fit into the first-person genre, didn't quite pull it off. And then Wolfenstein Youngblood comes out and then shakes it up with this co-op online at all times, and with RPG mechanics. I thought, no, I was just going to pick it up anyway because it was cheap. You know, it was like £24 at the time when it came out new, and you can pick it up now for, I think I've seen it for 13 or 14 quid. Really, really fun. Very, very difficult in the beginning because you feel underpowered going into some of the fights. But as you progress through the levels, I think I'm up to like level 80 or something. You get really, really powerful, but not so powerful that the later levels won't challenge you. It's a challenge all the way throughout the game. I've had a lot of fun.
So do you like that one better than Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus?
I do, actually, yes. Yeah, it's more of a down-to-earth shooter. There's less stealth. You can go in stealthy and all that, but there's more impetus to just get in there and kill everything like Doom. I like this better than Wolfenstein 2, yeah. And there's
You're probably against the consensus there, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Everything I've read, and as I was playing it and reading reviews and all that, I'm like, oh, no, it's not quite knitting with me. I'm enjoying this more.
Interesting. I haven't played it myself, so I don't know.
And it runs flawlessly, just like Wolfenstein 2. You know, there's no frame rate issues. Even online, you're playing with another person who's your sister, because you're twin sisters. No frame rate issues, nothing. And it's throwing everything it can at you as well. Really good fun.
Nice.
Sam, you're number 4.
Yeah, I was going to say it's interesting that you picked Wolfenstein Youngblood as your number 4. Because for my number 4, I've already talked about it, but I've gone with River City Girls. I don't know, I've only just started playing it, but, you know, it's just obviously you got that duo thing going on with the two heroines. Obviously in Wolfenstein, you know, they're related. They're not in River City Girls, but that kind of thing. So it seems to be a year for it, really. But even without that, I think it's still still a really, really good game, and I'm just looking forward to getting back into it and seeing what else it has to offer. Because I mean, the art style in it's really vibrant, but it's very, very detailed. Everything feels on point with the animations, even to the point where you're going, obviously beating up all different characters you won't come across. But even you've got static characters that are standing around, with their idle animations, and you can go and you can try and attack them, and you can't actually beat them up, but they'll kind of flinch, or they'll seem to have lightning fast reflexes where they kind of like recoil and then go back to normal afterwards. It's just the small attentions to detail. Looking forward to discovering more and seeing how deep the combat system goes.
Yeah, you'll have to tell us about that one in the future as well, Sam.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to work on a review for that one.
Cool. Nick,
Hello.
you're going to join us.
I am. I'm going to preface my number 4 with the fact that Greg reminded me that Mario U came out this year, and I have almost finished that. But it's a port, so I'm not going to include it. I've actually played quite a few ports. I mentioned Virtua Racing, and I've picked up other stuff similar to that. I've played quite a few indie games, but a lot of them I've only put like an hour or 2 in, so I don't really feel qualified to talk about them. I played a lot of the SNES app as well. I put an hour and a half, 2 hours into Final Fantasy VII, but no, I'm not including ports, which means Halo Reach is excluded. Just kidding, I'm not going to talk about Halo. My number 4 is Cadence of Hyrule, simply because I've played it for 3 hours, and it can't be higher. And I have enjoyed what I've played so far. I will finish it once I'm done with Xenoblade. And yeah, I think overall I'm leaning slightly more towards Crypt of the Necrodancer so far. But we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
So that's my number 4.
Good. Greg, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is probably further reflection on all of us. Like all of us seem to have quite a few games on the list here that we have barely started. And I don't know if that's because some of you are finding there's too many games to play in 2019, or it's just the fact that none of these games are actually keeping a grip on us to finish. Yoshi's Crafted World is mine. I think I'm actually only in World 2 somewhere. It is a good game, but I haven't felt that incentive just to carry on with it yet. And I know I will go back to it eventually, but it's got that sort of issue I have with like Yoshi's Island games and stuff. Like I hate, like in Yoshi's Island there'll be those, like the wee wing clouds, I forget what they're called, and they're hidden completely, and they only appear whenever you walk through them or whatever. I hate that aspect of things are just invisible unless you walk through them, so it's in some cases easy to miss something, and you'll maybe be like, there's different collectibles and stuff, so there'll be all like the red coins and stuff you have to get, and if you miss one of them after spending ages sort of hunting through the level, it might be something that was invisible to the eye at some point. It's like, right, am I going to want to go for 100%? And if I don't, just playing through the game from start to finish is going to be just really easy. So I don't really know where I stand with it, but it is a good game. So number 4.
On to our number 3s, the big top 3, and my number 3 is a number 3, Luigi's Mansion 3. Enjoyed my time with it, loved it. It is like a 9 out of 10. As I mentioned to Sam just now, it does get a bit repetitious as you get to the top of the tower. But as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago as well, I have sold it. It's gone to one of my students who was interested in Luigi's Mansion 3 for 600 Taiwan dollars, which is about 15 quid.
Wow.
$600.
So, yeah, $600. £1 is about 40 Taiwan dollars at the moment. They have no sub-denomination, so a dollar is the
It's the
smallest.
lowest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no cents.
No 1p chews.
You get a $1 chew. Sam, what was your number 3?
Number 3 was actually a game that I helped kickstart I believe it's Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night. So obviously it was a long time, in the making, long time waiting for it. And then when the Switch version did come out, obviously I know there have been performance issues, but even then, when I started playing it, I was still enjoying it even with those performance issues. I know there are a lot of reports of input lag and stuff, but I wasn't really feeling it to that degree. But now that I've seen the difference, I see that there was. But just the overall style of it and the feel of the game, it's very, very good. Again, I haven't finished it because I am waiting until more updates come for it to make it
they've promised
even more
some,
stable.
haven't they?
But I do
Yes.
believe that they will deliver on it. It's just as with a lot of Kickstarter games, it's all about the time frame, it seems, and they don't always deliver on day one. They deliver the game, but sometimes you don't know how it's going to go. And I believe when it was originally, the Kickstarter first began, it was originally going to come out for the Wii U, and then of course that didn't pan out.
Yeah, it was.
So
yeah.
I think it will work out better in the long term. Once the game's more stable on the Switch, and people will remember it a lot more fondly as time goes by. And I certainly intend to go back and complete it. But yeah, it's just got that
If people
Castlevania
go back and
feel
complete
to it.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Did you play The Curse of the Moon? Didn't that come as a free for the Kickstarter backers?
Yes, I did get a chance to play that. And again, they actually, since they've brought it out as a physical release as well. So I got it digitally, but picked up physical as well. But I got to play that game, and obviously it's very reminiscent of was it Castlevania 3? So it sort of takes that as its base, but then adds a load more on top of it. But it's very good. I mean, that's Inti creates that game as well. So I mean, they've got quite a number of decent titles to their name, and both Bloodstained games very, very good.
Good. Another one for the sale.
Ritual. Yeah, I was going to say Ritual of the Night could be one of those if it's in the sale this week.
Yeah.
I'd consider it.
I think it would
Possibly.
do quite well in the sale.
Nick, your number 3.
My number 3's already been mentioned by everybody, and it's honestly my most disappointing game of the year. But it but it gets
Number 3.
It gets into the top 3 because I actually played it a little bit. Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't really enjoy this. Much preferred the original. Now, when the game came out, I got it on launch, actually. It was one of the few games that I actually picked up at launch. And I had a lot of fun trading world number 1 times with Greg in some levels. That was fun. And I enjoyed Smeagol's levels from the forum. He made some really cool levels. I really enjoyed them.
Yes, he did.
But I just had no desire whatsoever to create a level myself. And I played, like you said about the story, it just didn't grab me. Like, it was just going through the motions. And if you choose a random level just to play through, just like, no, it's it's not fun. I didn't enjoy it. I think if I get like a lot of time and I get like a creative flow, then I could probably sit down and create something that I would like and that I would like people to play through. But it just didn't happen this time with this. It felt like Mario Maker 2 was just sort of thrown out. You're like, here you go, Mario Maker 2. And I wasn't mentally ready for it. And the online is an absolute disgrace.
Shocking. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't mention the online either.
I actually, you know what, I switched it on last night because I wanted to try this Ninja speedrun. And I'm on a Ethernet connection with a gigabit download speed. Absolutely horrible.
What, the Ninja speedrun
I couldn't.
thing?
I did that, and then I did a little bit of.
That's fine. Yeah, because
they
kind of load those in, don't they? So
I did a bit
once
of
it's on
the
system, it's fine.
multiplayer versus, and it just still. I did about 10 games, and I think 8 of them were waiting for somebody to drop out.
Yeah,
Just
2 frames a
awful.
second.
So no,
Yeah.
I switched it off and went back to Xenoblade. It's just I'm not. I need to be in the right mood for Mario Maker, and this year, obviously, because the first one was great fun. I really enjoyed it. It's such a good idea. And the fact that we had to wait half a year for an update as well, like there was nothing to pull me back into it. So Yeah,
It
unfortunately.
feels something they could have been adding little updates every month and just keeping you coming back every time, just like they're doing with Smash Brothers. You know, these little spirit board events, and just keep you interested. But no, 6 months of nothing. It's very strange rollout. Greg, your number 3.
My number 3 is one of the few games I've actually beat 100% this year. And it's one that we did mention briefly earlier, and that's Crash Team Racing Night Refueled.
Yeah.
Winner of the best racing sports game.
After playing Mario Kart 8 felt extremely natural, and like driving around the courses just felt perfect. You could I knew how the cars were going to feel. I knew exactly how to turn drifting. I could drift through the tightest of wee gaps, whatever. So going to Crash Team Racing, it feels quite a bit different. The way the drifting works and stuff, like the line that you take and stuff, is really different. So it took quite a bit of time to adjust. But once you did get into it, there was a really good game in there, and there was lots of stuff to do. And to be honest, I never really touched the online or anything, but like all the single player stuff, there's quite a few things to do, and like challenges to do, the stuff that Mario Kart kind of needs to bring in. Like obviously we had a few, like the DS game had a challenge mode and stuff. Like there are a few things that Mario Kart could probably learn from Crash Team Racing, but it was that fact that once I had done it all 100% and I went back to play Mario Kart again, and Mario Kart felt weird, I thought I really started to resent Crash Team Racing, and I sold it because I thought, you're not ruining Mario Kart on me, so get out of my system. But it was good while it lasted.
I resent you, but you're number 3. On to our number 2s. My number 2 is a racing game as well, one I've thoroughly enjoyed and I play every single day, at least one track. Grid Autosport. Came out in September, haven't put it down yet.
Good stuff.
And like I mentioned in the news as well, that split screen multiplayer, I'll give that a bit more of a go with my son and see if he gets on with it as well, but he's not really a sim kind of racer. Loved it. It's been getting my F1 fix in this, and the speeds, and it really does feel like you're going at 250 kilometers down an hour down the straights. Amazing sense of speed on it.
You've been starved for too long.
I have. Thank you, Feral. Codemasters, but the guys who ported it across were Feral Interactive. Thank you, Feral. Sam, what's your number 2?
My pick for number 2 probably has the longest title for a Switch game so far. It's Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age. Now, I did have this on the PS4 and the original version, which I can't remember how long ago that came out. It's got to be feels like a year, but I still didn't actually finish it on the PS4. But I've played Dragon Quest games before, and I've seen a lot about the game, and just the general feeling I get is that I'm really going to enjoy it once I get to properly play it. So I know it doesn't really seem like a fair pick putting it in number 2, but just from my experience of Dragon Quest, I feel like it's going to be, one of the greater entries in the series when I finally get around to putting in decent time into it. Especially you got the 2 different perspectives as well, because you got the whole full 3D world, and then you got the old style Dragon Quest perspective. They look like put a lot of development time into that, and I know it was originally different versions, with the 3DS version and everything. But I think it seems to combine into one cohesive package, especially when you've got the newly introduced music as well. The fully orchestrated music. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing more of it.
Played the demo for about 5 hours and loved it. I surprisingly loved it. It means it's like, oh no, there's another game I'd like to play through.
Exactly
it's
the same for me.
Good.
Absolutely love the demo.
Nick, your number 2.
Well, there's 2 games that I put more than 15 hours into this year, that released this year, that aren't ports and aren't retro games. So by default, Tetris 99.
This is bleak.
It's very bleak. Yeah. Tetris Battle Royale does what it says on the tin. It works surprisingly well. I did... One of the highlights of the year for me was when I got first place on Tetris 99. I'm not going to lie. That was a big moment. And it felt
Still haven't done it.
Yeah.
No.
I've got a number 2 now. Mm-hmm. I just can't get that number 1.
It was good. And yeah, like Greg, also kind of out of what did you say it was out of, Greg? I've forgotten the word now. Out of necessity.
I don't know.
when these events come on, obligation. You feel like you have to just another Tetris 99 event. Oh, go on then. I don't want to miss this skin that I'll never use. So, yeah. I have been playing the events, and I've done all of them so far. And the last couple have been kind of annoying. So it's not something I really pick up. I used to pick it up for 10-15 minutes, like a month or two after it came out. But now I'm off it completely. Event comes along, I'll play it, but outside of that, not really. So, but yeah, it works well, and I do enjoy Tetris. I love Tetris, so. This is a good version. Apart from the D-pad issues at the beginning when it released, it was fine. No complaints, good music. It's nice.
Cool.
Number 2.
Nick, you have said your number 2. Greg, your number 2.
My number 2 is a game I've only played for about 3 hours.
Oof.
But I can already tell it's probably going to be up there as one of my favourite games of the year, and it is Luigi's Mansion 3. And I don't really have that much to say about it because I haven't played it that long, but it does seem like it's going to be really good and probably a step up from Luigi's Mansion 2, which is much needed.
Mm-hmm.
It is a step up from Luigi's Mansion 2, just for the variety, interactivity of the bosses as well.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of character.
Yeah, cool. On to our top ones. Number 1 for me, and I've gone through pretty much every genre except strategy games. And people go, strategy games, Fire Emblem's your number 1. No, it's not. Wargroove is my number 1 game which was released early in 2019. Surprisingly, I thought, because I played it so long ago, I thought it was a 2018 game, but no, it was February 2019. Mm-hmm. And Wargroove, at that time, there was nothing else like it on the Switch, and it is as good as I remember all the Advance Wars games that have come out before it. There's a 45-hour main story campaign in there, and then there's a complete story maker, map maker, so you can make individual maps and then add those maps into your story, which you build up with dialogue boxes and everything. You can make an entire game there. You can get online and download other people's stories and individual maps, play people online. It's all in there. And if Advance Wars comes out and it's not in Advance Wars, everything that Wargroove has done, they've fallen short. What a step up for a strategy game. Brilliant stuff. Sam, what was your number 1?
Okay, my number 1's an interesting one. Now, it is a port. Now, I haven't played it on the Switch, but this is a game that I have played to completion before, and it came out some time ago, but in fact quite a while ago. But since then, it's been locked to one particular platform. So you probably guess what it is now. It is an RPG. It's Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. So just
that is a surprising one.
Yeah, just for the fact that it's now free of exclusivity and you can get it on any platform. But I think particularly on the Switch, it's nice to have because you can play, obviously portable and on the big screen. But it's just a fantastic game in its own right. And it's going from I can remember playing Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube, and for quite a long time, that was one of my favourite Tales of games. I didn't think anything else could beat it, and then Vesperia came along, and I'd say it's probably as good as, if not better in some regards. because every Tales of game since I haven't really felt the need to invest much time into. But Vesperia is just one of the ones that it definitely sticks to my mind. And so you got the combat system, which is the same in all Tales of games, but it just it just works really. It just works really well, and you got a great cast of characters. Obviously, there's certain tropes in there, like there are all JRPGs, but yeah, I just think for that and the variety of environments that you go to, level of interactivity, I think it gets a lot of things right, and highly recommend it. Well worth playing.
Another one for my wish list.
Yeah, sorry to add another JRPG to the pile.
Got quite a few of them. Nick, what about your number one?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious, I'm afraid. To the absolute disgust of Gregory Moffat. My number one game is a solid 8 out of 10. Link's Awakening.
It just shows you how bad 2019 was.
Well, it's my fault. And I'll explain why when we talk about, when we move on to the next section. But Link's Awakening, I decided for some reason that I wanted to spend 50 quid on this. And I did. And I enjoyed it. End of story. I talked about it on the podcast previously. I have talked in detail about this. And I do like it. The frame rate is a horrendous issue. I can't believe they didn't fix, or still haven't fixed. I can't believe they even released the game in that state. But going through this game again was really, really fun. And really brought back some good memories. And the art direction, the graphics, really fantastic. The fact that you can carry more than 2 weapons and the sword is locked, the boots are locked. The quality of life updates to it are really good. And if I had to play this game again, I would definitely pick the Switch version over the Game Boy one for sure, 100%. So yeah,
cool.
Well done.
I'm waiting for the player select.
I can't even imagine playing that on the Game Boy and having to switch out the items constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't enjoy it enough as it is, and I think that would just absolutely do my head in.
And it is constant.
Constant.
I mean, every minute. Yeah, you're flicking between something, especially in the later levels where you're required to use numerous items.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, you're number one, the best game of 2019.
I actually thought for a second that Sam had stolen my number one from his description, saying it was previously a platform exclusive. It only came to the Switch this year, but it's been out for quite a while on another platform. And for me, it's my undisputed game of the year because nothing else has came anywhere close to it. And that's Cuphead.
Oh, nice.
Looks fantastic. Sounds fantastic, plays fantastic, really good challenge. Levels are just the perfect length where it's they are really difficult, but overcoming it just feels so satisfying, and absolutely stunning game. Love it to pieces.
Cool, that's all our top 10s. Now, we couple of little other issues to talk about, and I don't know if you've got much to say about these, because these are 2019 games, honourable mentions, games you played in 2019 and they made in 2019, released in 2019, that didn't quite make your top 10. Nick and Greg, will be very surprised if you've got anything to add to that. Cuphead.
Yes,
okay.
I did pick it up, but I have barely played it. That's why I didn't include it.
Yeah. For myself, it would be Tetris. Things like Tetris 99, they're just not in the top 10. And other games like Fire Emblem, and you go, why is Fire Emblem not in your top 10? I haven't put enough time in it. I put 10 hours into Fire Emblem, and I'm just scratching the surface. I mean, even at 10 hours in, I'm still, as getting to grips with the fighting mechanics. I've only been in 3 fights, I think it is, and it's just a lot of roaming around that monastery as a teacher, and I just haven't got used to the characters or anything in the game. And the other one is The Witcher 3. I know I'm going to love it. I've played it for about 10 hours, but I'm going to really concentrate on Fire Emblem and try and put that to bed before Witcher 3. But what I have played of Witcher 3, another 10 hours, it's been fantastic so far, but just not enough to see enough to put it in my top 10. And one other game that nearly made the top 10 and didn't quite make it is Castlevania Collection. And it is an old one, but I thoroughly enjoyed playing I haven't played Castlevania 2, but I finished all the other games on there. I think it was 7 other Castlevania games. Fantastic fun. Castlevania 4 still rules the roost.
Very good.
Sam, do you have any honourable mentions? 2019 games that didn't make your top 10?
Yeah, well, just on the Switch, games we've already mentioned. Super Mario Maker 2. I didn't really feel like I could put it in my top 10. That might change when I play, more of the levels that are available on the N-Europe forum, and I do intend to. Just never got as far as that, but I do intend to play a lot of levels in the future. So I get the feeling it could have made it into my top 10 for that reason, but probably not for the story mode so much. And then you got Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Obviously played it before on the Game Boy. Didn't actually finish it on the Switch. I think I got as far as the Walrus. I don't want to spoil everything in case someone hasn't played it, but we got to get the Walrus out of the way. I won't say we got to do, but yeah. I mean, it is a very good game. For a remake, it's the style of it and the quality of life improvements. I think that's definitely what makes it worthwhile. I'm sure I will go back to it and finish. I had another game noted down. I don't think it would quite make a top 10 list, but it was a game that I was reviewing. It was a cheap game. I think I mentioned it a while back. Old Dread Knight of Honor, because it was a very cheap game, but I just thought it was pretty well made for the price bracket. Kind of like 2D. You go along with the sword and various other weapons.
It's a hack and slash, yeah.
Like platformer, and you've got to pick up various things and find your way to the end of the levels, but just got some nice presentation on it. And we'll bring a review of that at a later date.
And I believe this one's been on sale a few times.
You can get it very cheap.
So you can pick it up really cheap. Yeah.
On other platforms, cool. I mean, on the PS4, I had a few titles. I was just going to run through them. You got, does anyone like the Burnout series?
Yes.
Okay. Has anyone else played Dangerous Driving on the PS4?
I saw that. I haven't played it.
Very, very much worthwhile picking up. The team behind it, I think, really very, very passionate. Was it Freefield Entertainment? Freefields Entertainment. Yeah, because they did a couple of other games before which felt like experiments leading up to it. They had one, based around golf, and one felt like Burnout's Crash Mode, which you actually get if you buy the box game, Dangerous Driving. You get the Crash Mode version game free with it. But no, Dangerous Driving, very good. You think back to old style Burnout games. The only thing it's missing is its soundtrack, but you can put your own music in the background. So I went and put the old Burnout soundtracks onto a MP3 player and just played it that way. Got a lot of enjoyment out of that. But they've been constantly updating the game, adding new modes and stuff, things like that. So I'm looking forward to getting back into it at a later date. And then quite a few Capcom games on the PS4 as well. Obviously you got Devil May Cry 5. A little way into that. I haven't played a lot of the other Devil May Cry games, so I'm going back and playing those first before continuing Devil May Cry 5. But what I played of it, very much enjoyed. And then you got Resident Evil 2, solid remake.
Jealous.
Very good remake. Just think really nails the atmosphere, and definitely makes me look forward to the recently announced Resident Evil 3 remake as well. Definitely be picking that up. And then not technically a new game, but I think it almost counts. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, because it's basically like having a whole brand new game. Yeah, I already mentioned Monster Hunter, but I feel like I've barely scratched the surface with Iceborne. And you got all the new
Monster Hunter World looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I can't recommend it enough, and I think it's just going to get better as the year goes on.
Could you see Capcom doing something similar, like Monster Hunter World? Maybe not as extensive, but something like that.
I think
on the
they
Switch?
could. And
is that the next Monster Hunter game?
I think they will. I think now that they've seen, I know Capcom support has been a bit hit and miss on Switch. We've had support, but not, kind of copping out on certain aspects with box games and things. But I think if they really came back and wanted to support the Switch, properly, and bring out an exclusive Monster Hunter game, brand new or based on world, I think it could do very well indeed. But we'll just have to see, really.
Yeah.
But
it'd be a day one for me.
I love any Monster Hunter game, so you really can't go wrong with any of them.
Any of you other boys? Any other honourable mentions?
No. Maybe just give a wee shout out to Onimusha, which came to Nintendo system for the first time. It's a PS2 game that I really enjoyed back at the time, and I've played a wee bit of it on the Switch, but it's fun to play. So if it's ever on sale, pick it up.
It did go on sale, didn't it? It dropped from I can't remember the price, like about 12 or 13 quid.
I think it usually goes on sale when Capcom games go on sale, doesn't it?
Yeah, they tend to put them all together. Yes, yeah. So, what about other games, boys? Not 2019 games, because we've had a problem with 2019 games, and we've been picking games up from 2018. Any games you played this year that didn't release this year that you want to mention? And I'll get us started. Celeste. I did play Celeste. Good. I finished it. That was a 2018 game. Enjoyed myself. The story wasn't... 2017, sorry. Story wasn't as deep as I thought it would go. Yeah, it was a little on the loose side, but some of the platforming elements absolutely solid, and the feeling. I didn't go out of my way to get the strawberries. I got them if I could be bothered to get them. I just flew through the game basically, and flying through the game, it still took me 6 to 8 hours. It's a long old campaign, and that's from beginning to end straight through. It wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. Maybe I do need to go back and do some of the more challenging strawberry elements. But there was one the end section as you come in towards the end of the mountain, where you've got the countdown, 25, 24, 23. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I found that maybe some checkpoints beforehand were a little bit too long, and it would have been better if it was like that last section, a little bit more with a few more checkpoints, just to keep the things flowing a bit faster. But overall, thoroughly enjoyed it. Good. Any other honourable mentions from non-2019 games, Sam?
Just the one, really, because I've got other games which came out before, but I haven't actually played them. But one I have played very recently, Horizon Chase Turbo. That's got to be an honourable mention, because I wanted to include it, in the top 10 list, but I know I can't because it's not the physical. I think the physical release came out a little bit later, but I know it doesn't count that way.
I think it was this year. No, it was this year though. Yeah, definitely.
But Horizon Chase Turbo just feels like everything that's right with a racing game, because I can remember playing games that were maybe similar, not quite, but similar to Top Gear. Like there was, has anyone else ever played Burning Rubber on the Amstrad?
No, but I heard of it.
I think it's very similar. It either came out maybe a little bit before, around about the same time. So I wouldn't say it can't be as good as Top Gear on the SNES, but if you think of it as kind of like a precursor, there's a similar kind of style to it. I really like that type of racing game. So.
And it looks like we're never going to get that 90s racing arcade racer, whatever it was called. That's just disappeared, hasn't it?
That was put on the back burner for a while. I mean, I was kind of hoping that we might, though. But, failing that, at least we got Horizon Chase Turbo.
Yeah.
But it is a shame about the 90s arcade racer, though. Great shame.
Nick, any games you've been playing this year you've enjoyed?
Yeah, many games. Smash. Game of the year for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Put way too much time into that game. And I still haven't done the story mode. This is the year that I finally started playing Xenoblade 2.
Yeah.
2 years after everybody else. Hollow Knight, we finished that this year, didn't we?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Start to finish. Absolutely loved it. I've gone back and finished Mario Odyssey again this year. Just because. I don't know why. I've still been dipping in and out of Zelda, Bayonetta 1 and 2, Civilization 6. I've been playing Enter the Gungeon. I've put most of my time I put into it this year. And basically, I've just been going back and playing stuff that I'd picked up cheap and hadn't got around to. So for me, this year's been great, but not the new stuff, basically. So I've played my Switch loads this year. Maybe not quite as much as last year, but I started Dark Souls this year. I finished a couple of indie games. I finished SteamWorld Dig, the first one. Played through Death Road to Canada, Shantae. What else? Let me just have a look. I'm trying to go through what else I've played.
I love Death Road to Canada.
Bastion.
Did you finish it?
I did. Bastion as well.
Yeah. That was good, yeah.
I got my first Labo kit this year as well. Rubbish. Don't like it. I built the steering wheel and the pedals, and I built something else. I can't remember exactly what it was, but the games just didn't really... The building it was great fun. And
have you tried the steering wheel and the pedals on Mario Kart 8?
Nope. Because they're in Russia. They're in Russia. I left them in Russia. Yeah.
Okay.
I will try them when it gets delivered eventually.
Yeah.
Building Labo. I remember when I was a kid and me and my dad built an F1 car out of Lego, and it took us 12 hours. Like, it was with everything, the wheels, the engine, everything. Yeah. And I reckon doing Labo with a kid would be the same. Like, I reckon it'd be way more enjoyable with a kid or two. But yeah, good year, very, very good year for me. I've really enjoyed it. Kept going at Rocket League as well. Haven't given up. So I'm going to try next year to keep more up to date, but yeah, we'll see how that goes.
How about you, Greg?
Colin McRae Rally 2.0.
Oh yes,
with years on. Fantastic.
Game of the year.
And there is one more, but I probably will talk about it next week. It's another old game, but it is Nintendo this time, and it's bringing me lots of much needed joy coming towards the end of the year. Fantastic. But we'll hear about that.
Yeah, we'll hear about that next time. It's Demon's Crest, yeah. So, ending the podcast now then, New Year's resolutions, games from 2019, I don't know if you got any ideas of this, that you didn't pick up, but that you would look forward to next year. And in sales, basically, that kind of thing. And a few of mine would be things like Super Hot, the first-person shooter, very polygonal models looking. That looks fun. Obviously lacking VR, but still want to play that. Hotline Miami Collection, that came down to half price, and I still didn't buy it. Maybe another one for a future sale. And new Super Lucky's Tale has stuck out to me. Yeah. It looks a hell of a lot of fun. It looks to be that kind of Banjo-Kazooie to Mario Odyssey. It's maybe not that good, but it does look like a game that, given the right price, I will dip on that. But there are some little smaller games as well I wouldn't mind playing, like Children of Morta, which is a bit of a Diablo kind of clone, but with a family story going on in the background. And other little games like Sparklight, another kind of dungeon crawler with some interesting mechanics of crafting, something for Greg to look forward to. And Return of the Obra Dinn, which is the black and white monochrome investigative time-travelling mystery. That looks fun as well. There's a couple of games to keep in mind, listeners. What about you, Sam?
See, that's what I like about the Switch. I mean, there's so many games on it. Just a lot of the games that you mentioned there. Quite a few I'd forgotten about, and I've got some here that I don't think have even been mentioned so much yet. So I'm going to start with, these are games that I've actually bought. I've got them, but I haven't had a chance to play yet. Okay. And so you got A Hat in Time, which I've heard good things about, and you get the DLC in the box. I think there's maybe one extra DLC that they've come out with since that you've got to download, but apart from that, it's all there. Just, always good to have another platformer. Collection of Mana.
Yeah.
Got to play that at some point. Ninja Saviors. Return of the Warriors.
Oh yeah, this 2D platformer action beat 'em up. Yes, that looks fun.
It looks amazing for what it is. It looks like one of the best versions. It's got mixes in some of the, it looks like an amalgamation of because there was a version that came out on the Super Nintendo, and I think there was some kind of arcade version as well. But I think it takes the best soundtrack and mixes it all together and adds in a new character, a bit like what's it called? Wild Guns Reloaded, in a way. That's another title, obviously not from 2019. I want to play again. And this one I'm counting because it's now complete. You got Shovel Knight Treasure Trove as a complete package. So looking forward to diving back into that.
King Knight, yeah.
And one that I feel like I've got to mention, Slay the Spire, because I don't think Dracon on the forum would didn't at least mention it. I have got it. I intend to play it one day. Then you got Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD. I've mentioned that.
Oh yes,
I've got it.
You picked that up, yeah.
Yeah, do intend to play that. Valfaris.
That's another one I intend
really
to pick
good.
up. Hopefully, it looks really good. Yeah,
like the style of it.
Run and gun.
It's kind of like
game.
rock inspired as well.
Yeah,
it looks really good. And one that has been mentioned as well, Wargroove. That's high up on my list, but I only just got it boxed, so that's definitely on top of the pile.
Yeah, if you loved Advance Wars, you should love Wargroove. That's for certain. Nick, anything from you?
Wargroove, I already have it. I never played it. I just had a look at my my wish list. 66 games. I intend to buy all of them. I only put a game on my wish list if I know, like, yes, I would like to buy this.
Yeah, you will get it.
Oh no, I've got 110 Switch games, I think, and just wow, like, it's too much. This is what I meant last week when I said if you own a Switch, you don't need anything. You don't need to think about any other games. There's enough. So the main reason why I didn't pick up any games today, two reasons. First of all, living in Russia, physical games were very expensive, and they very rarely got discounted. And in the UK, it's much easier to buy a physical game because the retail price will be 50 or 60 quid, but you won't buy it for that. It's always cheaper somewhere, Amazon or whatever. It's not the same in Russia, and like, I don't really want to spend 60 quid on a new game every month. Like, even if I'm going to get lots and lots of time on it, I know if I just wait, I can play it when I go home. When I go back to the UK, I'll pick it up because the price won't go down, really, will it? It's Nintendo. So, but it'll still be 20 quid cheaper. And I thought, actually, when I moved here to Latvia, I thought it might be similar to the UK. Amazon delivers here. Amazon Germany delivers here. They have game shops, but now same as Russia. 60 quid or nothing. So 60 euros, not quid. So I've got I think I've got about 13 physical games I want to pick up when I go home, including Crash Team Racing, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon, Ring Fit, Daemon X Machina, Astral Chain. Like, the list is huge. It's going to be very expensive, but basically everything from this year, I'm just going to buy it in bulk when I go home, and that's going to sort me out for the next 6 months to a year.
You're gonna have one suitcase with Nintendo printed on the outside. Your Nintendo case.
It's gonna be expensive, but it's gonna. If I can find some of those games a little bit cheaper, like I know Crash Team Racing, for example, is probably 20 quid, maybe less now. I want that physical, not on the shop. And another thing about the shop, this year games became much more expensive on the eShop. I noticed like the prices have started going up. Like 20 quid euros was about the average price for an indie game, and now it's 25, 30. It's creeping up.
There are some games like Valfaris. It looks like it would be like a 15 quid game. It came out like about 23, 24 quid, and it's like, I think you're right there.
I'm not prepared to spend that much money on a digital game, I'm afraid. So that's why I'm waiting for sales. Like, just put it on the list, wait for a sale. And I think, to be honest, most developers have cottoned on to the fact that people who really want it will pay whatever at launch, and then everyone will just put it on there. Like Monster Boy, for example, went on sale and everybody was buying it. And they knew, let's release it for 30 quid. people who want it will pick it up, and then after a year, everybody else will get it for
it's Capcom's Resident Evil dirty tricks. Yeah, stick them on for 30 quid each, and then reduce them to 20 quid in the future. Yeah.
I'm looking forward. One of the main things I'm really looking forward to is going through all the Final Fantasies. Like, I'd love to play. I've played 7 and 8, so I'm going to pick up 9. I want to get 10 and 12 as well as on the eShop as well. So I would like to go through them next year. That's one of the things I'm really looking forward to.
Cool. Lots of RPGing. Mm-hmm. What about you, Greg?
I actually wish I had as many games to be excited about as you guys. Like Nick having all those games that you can't wait to sort of like pick up and play, and they'll keep them going for a while. There's genuinely nothing that I'm really excited to play. Like Sam, I'll probably pick up Banana Blitz HD whenever it goes on sale in the eShop, but it's not through like any great like excitement to play it. It's just I kind of fancy it on the Switch, but like if I don't have it, like I probably wouldn't really care that much. I kind of thought Panzer Dragoon was supposed to be out this year, but
yes, it is.
Eagerly awaiting that.
Still coming. Yeah.
It's still coming this year.
Oh no, this year, 2020. Sorry, no. It's definitely 2020. Last news we had was it hasn't been delayed, but it is March. Sam, do you know what the date on that?
I should know the date.
For some reason, March is sticking in my head.
I think that
but
sounds
it could be
about
later.
right. All I know is that they did say that they were going to bring that one out physically as well. There were plans to do that.
Yes.
So I'll be going for that if that happens.
I see. Yeah. Well, I suppose that's something for me to look forward to next year. But for some reason, I did have it in my head that it was coming in 2019. So sort of we're getting towards the end of December now. I was sort of thinking, where is it?
It would have been good timing for it as well. I feel like more of a wintry Christmas time. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I kind of associate a lot of Panzer Dragoon with winter. Maybe it's just Panzer Dragoon Auto, because that has kind of like a snowy level that I remember.
Snowy, icy themes. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, apart from that, I can't really think of anything that I'm desperate to play. And to be honest, I'm not feeling that drive to play the Switch at all at the minute. Like, I played it quite a lot throughout the year, but just the last month or two, it's just every time I stick on, I just can't really pick a game that I want to play, and nothing's really sticking with me.
I know what's missing, Greg. I think both your sons are a little bit too young to game with you on games that you like. Maybe in a year or two, when your eldest Jacob is a little bit older and he can game with you. That's what happened to me as well. Roughly, my child Morgan was my son. He was 5 or 6, and he was starting to play games, but I wasn't playing as much. And then when we started gaming together, when he got to the age of 7 or 8, then my gaming kicked back into life again. You could be waiting for a kind of renaissance.
There's that possibility, but there's also the possibility that I'll be wanting to kick back and play something, and he'll be wanting to come and play with it. It's like, right, I guess we're playing what you want to play. I'll play something rubbish like Fortnite or whatever the craze is.
It'll be Minecraft, believe me.
Can't wait.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.